Welcome everyone online. Oops, daisy. What have we got happening here? All good. Welcome, hearty welcome to everyone who's already online. Nice to get your vibes there. Welcome to everyone here. And we've got a couple of nice things we're going to do tonight. First of all, we're going to welcome Andrew here, who's going to take us through a meditation, a clearing technique, or whatever he feels inspired to do. Also, we have with us some Footsoak buckets, which I've probably been plaguing you about quite a lot on the WhatsApp group. If you haven't got a bucket ready and you want to, now's the time to get it ready. We've all got ours here. And if you don't have one, you're just joining us for the first time and you're going, huh? What is that? Don't worry, we can still meditate without the bucket. We'll explain some more later on. So we also have, of course, we'll establish our self-realization, make it stronger by going through the realization process. And we'll have a meditation there. We'll do our clearing using the elements, in particular the water and the earth. Then we'll have a little meditate with Andrew, and we've got a superb excerpt from a talk of Shri Mataji, which is one we have heard before, but you can never hear it too many times. And then, of course, we'll finish off with another meditation. After that, we'll feel super, super duper. And, of course, if you're on Zoom, do join in and say hi, how your meditation was. Any questions, of course, you can ask them. But let's kick off by getting into our present moment. So that's where it all happens. Our self-realization is where we connect with the present. And there's only one way to do it. We've got to get out of our mind and stop thinking. So if we're thinking, we're in the past or we're in the future. And the only way to be in the present is to awaken our Kundalini energy, which is the Sanskrit word for our pure desire energy, which is to connect to the power of the universe, to the divine, to God, whatever you want to call that energy, because whatever we may think and plan out and plot and think we know about the world, somebody's making it happen, and it ain't us. Saying that, of course, we're all part of the same ocean. So a little bit of divine is within us, and that's what we're awakening and getting connected to. And that's our mothering energy, that simply by us all being together, so it's a vibe thing. We'll go back to what I first started with, it being a vibe to be together. if you have just one person who's a realized soul and you have that desire, that pure desire to connect to the power of the universe, then it'll happen and your Kundalini will awaken. So even we don't have to do anything, just having that desire. But it is very powerful if we take our attention inside and say a few affirmations just to be sure that it's happening. So it's satisfying our mind, if you can say, and keeping our mind out of the process. So we've got the chart behind us, which most of you have seen many times, and it does show you our yoga, what's happening here, our all of our life, and in fact, many lives you can see in that chart. So you'll see there's the horizontal plane where you can see different stages of evolution or chakras, energy centers, but then you've also got what's the opposite of horizontal? Vertical. Then you see those vertical lines. There's a blue one and a yellow one, and then in the very center, which is in the center of our spinal cord, is the white one of the present. And at the bottom of that system, you can see there's a triangular bone. Well, there's a triangle, and that is representing our sacrum bone. And that's literally physically where our pure desire, our Kundalini, the Sanskrit word for that, resides. And so there's a physical process going on where we have that desire in our heart, and that mothering energy of Kundalini is just waiting for us to have that desire. And she will rise up through that central path of the present, and she makes a little path. So Andrew will probably talk to us a little bit more about that when we do our making ourselves nice and clean. When we're going in the future, or we're going in the past and thinking about what's happened and worrying perhaps, or, getting reacting to the things of the past, we're pulling our attention to the side and we're restricting that present moment. So what happens when we awaken that energy? She pulls us back into the present moment. So whether we've been overactive during the day, or we've been very lethargic and couldn't get going, well, it all comes out in the wash when we just awaken that energy. So we don't have to, while it is necessary, and we will when Andrew takes us through it in a minute, analyse ourselves and see what's the state of our being. It's our human self, and what we're trying to do here and every day in our meditation is identify with our higher self, our spiritual self. So we're becoming a split personality, basically, in that all those things that we see that are not quite ideal, even, what you've done today or what you did last year, all those things have left an effect on our subtle system, but we don't have to. We own it in that we see that, that was a mistake, but we don't have to, put it away and by feeling guilty, which we'll go through that process and you'll see where it gets stored, feel guilty about those things. But we want to see what it is that right now our Kundalini tells us is something that's pressing on our system that we need to deal with. And the difficulty is that we don't want to think about it. However, we have to satisfy our attention by putting our thoughts to it. Are we all totally confused by that? You kind of know what I mean, but hopefully you're not all confused by it. But let's just go through that awakening of our Kundalini, and then as we progress on, we'll dwell on those thoughts a bit more. So what we're going to do is in our action and our daily life, we're pretty much using our futuristic side, our right side. So we're going to go through and bring our attention to the left side, to those different energy centers, those chakras, which are the different stages of our evolution, where different people, incarnations, have tried to bring about certain qualities in our nature. And just taking our attention by putting our hand there and asking questions, answering with an affirmation, it'll just awaken that center and awaken our own desire, pure desire. So that's probably enough thinking about what we're going to do. So now we'll just do it. Andrew, did you want to take us through that realization?
Sure.
Just so you get a different flavour.
Thanks for that introduction. I'm very lucky to have you here, people online and people here. I haven't done it for a long time, so
Perfect.
Make sure you correct me if I get anything wrong.
So that, there's different ways of doing it. And as I mentioned at the start, we could even just sit here and look at a picture of the founder of Sahaja Yoga and feel the vibrations and get our realization just like that. But different ways of doing it, bringing our attention inside. So there's no set way of doing it. Andrew will feel what's appropriate at the moment, and spontaneously it'll be correct.
I reckon I'll try and stick to the
usual
original method. Yeah.
Come a little bit closer so we can see you and hear you.
Is that good? Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks, Lynn. So first of all, we sit with our left hand on our lap. We're going to use our right hand. Our left hand sits in this sort of open position because if I think Lynn may have told you before that the left side represents our desire and our being receptive to things. So we keep our left hand out on our lap. Right hand's a side of action, the whole right side of our subtle system. So we'll use the right hand to place it on the particular chakras. The first one, I'll just take you in a quick run through, and so you don't have to think about it when we go through the self-realization process. So you put your right hand on your heart. Some Sahaja yogis I hear call it the left heart, but most people who don't practice Sahaja Yoga will just know it as their heart. So I mean on your physical heart in your body, but in the chakra system, there's a center heart, right heart, and left heart. So if you hear someone say left heart, that's what they mean there. Also down here in the center of mastery, which is sort of underneath your rib cage on the left side, we'll be saying affirmations as we go. This one in particular is the center of mastery. So we ask the question, am I my own master? You don't have to remember this, I'll guide you through when we go. And then down on the hip, on the left side, this is the center of knowledge, this Swadhisthana chakra down here. And we just ask, is this the pure knowledge? Moving back up, come back to the center of mastery. Instead of asking a question, we affirm that we are our own masters. Up to here, so originally when we were here, we would have asked the question, am I the spirit? And this time we affirm it. So this is because when the Kundalini rises, it actually comes up to the top of our head, and that's what sends us into meditation. But the spirit takes its seat in our heart, in our left heart here. Next point is in this Vishuddhi chakra. And this Vishuddhi chakra can sometimes hold some negative emotions around guilt in particular. And because it's on this left side channel, which is to do with the past, and the right side is to do with the future, sometimes we'll be reflecting on the past. We think about that. Obviously, if we've made mistakes, they're in the past. Moving up to, is it back first? Yes, it's
can do it first or after.
We'll do this one. Okay. Sorry, we'll do the back of the head. If I've made any mistakes against my spirit, Mother, please forgive me. And that's when we say Mother, we're actually addressing this Kundalini energy. And she's a feminine energy. So she nurtures and mothers us. And actually in the Bible, she sort of predicted that she would come and give us comfort and counsel us. And that's what the Kundalini does. So moving to the front of the head, and the forehead, we just ask for forgiveness. And so it was predicted in the Puranas, the Indian Puranas, that there would be an incarnation of Mahavishnu who would come. And actually, the prediction is very similar to the incarnation of Christ. And so here we say, Mother, I forgive myself and I forgive others. At the top of the head, this is the Sahasrara chakra, and this is where we get our connection with with the all-pervading power, and it really helps us to feel our connection with our own, what in Indian tradition is called the Atma. So we're getting our connection to our spirit, which means spirit. And once we've done that, we can just rest our hands on our laps and we'll try and go into meditation. I'll guide you in that as well. But just with that is just to let yourself relax. It's been a really good thing that I've relearnt recently, is instead of trying to clear all the chakras all the time, which is I'm focused on, and be really clear, which I can do, but I realised as soon as you start meditating at your Sahasrara chakra and, just slow down your breath, breathe in slowly through your mouth, through your nose, out slowly through your mouth, keeping your attention there, that most of your chakras will come into balance quite easily, because the Sahasrara chakra is where all of the chakras are integrated, and there's all of the nerve endings here. Actually, once they start opening, they are reflected in all of the chakras here in the body and in the hands, which I'm sure Lynn has talked to you about. So when you go, if it's the first time, when you go through this, you'll start to possibly feel some sensations in your hands. And when the Kundalini comes up, it's the first time you'll probably start to feel these sensations. I won't prompt you about what they are. You shouldn't be worried about it either, but they're very subtle. And through this, maybe not today, but through this program, will help you to decode that, and becomes very, very empowering. And that's where it comes back to this idea of becoming your own guru, because this Kundalini power can not just send you into meditation, but can help diagnose these problems in your chakra system.
We'll see that too when we have our Footsoak in a minute after we have our first meditation, and you can literally just see what you're feeling in your hands.
So how about we try the self-realization process?
Definitely.
Yeah. And never, if you've done it before, it never hurts to do it again. I do it regularly anyway. And it'll help you get into meditation. So if we just, as I said, both feet on the ground. If you haven't taken your shoes off, that's really optimal as well. I don't know if you mentioned that at the start, Lynn, sorry.
I'd probably forget to, but we should take our shoes off.
Yeah. And just making sure that you get that connection with the earth. If you can manage it, sitting cross-legged on the ground is also good, because then the base chakra gets cleared as well. So just put your right hand on your heart, just to start to take some slow breaths in your nose, out through your mouth. And while you're doing that, just ask 3 times. You don't have to say it out loud, just inside your head say, or ask, Mother, am I the spirit? So as we did before, if you move your right hand down underneath your ribs, at this point we ask 3 times, Mother, am I my own master? Or you can say guru or teacher, whatever you feel more comfortable with. And moving your hand down onto the left hip. This time, ask, Mother, is this Kundalini energy the pure knowledge? You can ask that about 6 times. Mother, is this Kundalini energy the pure knowledge? Moving back up to underneath your ribs on the left side. This time you can affirm, Mother, I am my own master. You can say that 10 times. Mother, I am my own master. And now moving your hand back up to your heart. In this position, it is where, in this heart chakra on the left side, is where the spirit takes its seat. And this time we'll say the affirmation 12 times, because there's 12 petals to this chakra. Mother, I am the spirit. 12 times. Now the next position is in the crook of our neck on the left side, just between your shoulder and your neck. Just place your hand there, just gently, and you can even tilt your head slightly to the right. It helps to open up this chakra. And remember, you're trying to get into the present, so it's important to forgive yourself and to let go of the past. So we just say it about 16 times, or 16 petals to this chakra. Mother, I'm not guilty. Just say it from your heart, let it go. Anything that you're troubled about, some of your mistakes, say, Mother, I am not guilty. Now moving your hand at the back of your head. In this chakra, it's called the Agya chakra. There are really just 2 petals, or what we call balloons, of the ego and the superego. And we'll talk a bit more about it as we go, a bit later on today. But if you just tilt your head back slightly into your hand, and you just need to ask once at this point, Mother, if I have made any mistakes against my spirit, please forgive me. Best not to dwell on any of it, because we're trying to stop thinking more than anything. And then we take our right hand again into onto our forehead and just tilt our head forward slowly, slightly, and we assume this posture because at this point we're going to ask that you can forgive yourself and forgive everybody. And just tilting your head forward is just a sign of humility. I forgive myself and I forgive everybody. And now moving your right hand to the fontanelle bone at the top of your head. And you can stretch your fingers out a tiny bit, stretch them back, and you can just move the scalp a tiny bit, just a tiny bit. You don't have to be too extreme or anything, but just so some of the skin moves on your scalp. And as you do that, just ask 7 times, once for each chakra in your body, the 7 chakras. Mother, please give me my self-realization. If you've been through this before, you can ask, Mother, please establish my self-realization. When you've finished, just place that hand on your right lap as well. Left hand where it is, keep it there. And keep your attention at the top of your head, where your hand was. And as you're doing that, just slowly breathe in through your nose. And then out through your mouth, just slowing your breath, keeping your attention at the top. And if a thought comes into your head, you can simply say, Mother, I am the Spirit. So I hope that gave you a nice meditation. One thing it's really good to do now is that got to really say Sahaja Yoga is like one of the breakthroughs in the whole of human history. I think one of the biggest breakthroughs, and the most amazing thing is that, as has been predicted in lots of spiritual scriptures, is that when this Kundalini rises up from the sacrum and comes and pierces the fontanelle bone, is that you will start to feel things on your hands, in particular in your fingertips. So as you're sitting here, maybe just try and keep your mind still. You know, if you start thinking, just say, Mother, I'm the Spirit. And at the same time, you might feel that your fingertips are tingling a bit, or there's a bit of heat. Or you might find that there's some heat or tingling in your palms as well. And you shouldn't be worried about that. That's a normal thing. And what it means is that the Kundalini has come up, and, pardon me, there might be some obstructions in your chakras. And if we think of the chakras as sitting like this, on the spinal column like that, and if they're not aligned, say if one goes out like this, then the path for the Kundalini is obstructed. And that's why we get a bit of heat or tingling in our fingertips. But what Lynn's going to take us through is our foot soaking, and that's a really, really good way to clear the base chakras, so the Muladhara chakra, which is the bottom one. The Swadhisthana is reflected in the thumbs. So if we think too much, especially, you're going to feel tingling here or some heat. We've been, indulging in some sort of pure knowledge or lots of impure desire, then left Swadhisthana will catch. But the foot soak will help that, but also this Nabi chakra, which is represented in the middle finger. And each of these have a different aspect. To say middle finger here, the middle finger here on my left side represents my left side of the chakra, and the right finger represents the right side. If both of them are tingling, it represents the middle. And that's the same principle for all of the chakras. The only one that gets a tiny bit more complex for is the Agya, it's not even that complex.
Yeah, it just means because of the
swaps over. Yeah.
But that's good. You got us all to see what we're feeling in our hands, because it'll be interesting to see how we feel after our foot soak. So if you want to bring your foot soak towards your feet, let's do that. You may already have it. That's all good. So I've got my bucket of ankle deep. It would have been lukewarm. It's probably icy cold by now, but I probably need that. I've got a little cup of rinsing water. Others don't. And towels. So the extent to which you have all the accoutrements is entirely up to you. And if you don't have a bucket, that's also fine. We can do it without the bucket. You can have your feet on the earth and use the earth element. But in this bucket here, we've got the water and the earth with the salt. We've got that, just a couple of tablespoons of salt. And we've got a candle here with the light element as well. So, Andrew, everyone's blazing ahead there. What we've already raised our Kundalini and put on our armour of our vibrations everywhere. But what I'll get you to do, whether you're in foot soak already or not, is this is how you start your meditation and finish it. It's how you start your foot soak and finish it. And it is putting on your armour, or what we actually call it is raising our Kundalini and putting on a bandhan. So as Andrew showed us before, our left hand raises up, or maybe you didn't show us.
Nope.
Anyway, the left hand is raising up. That's our hand of desire, which we'll be watching. The right hand winds around. So this is a sequence that we'll follow often. Raising our Kundalini, and here we are up at the top, and we'll tie a knot because we really want to keep it up there. Second time for our second channel, still with our attention on that left hand, looking up, tying 2 knots. Surprising how well it works. Looking at the hand, so our hands are doing the job. Kundalini is following our hands and our attention. 3 knots for the third channel, symbolizing we want to keep our attention up there. And then now we've got those vibrations flowing, we'll start from the left side over to the right. Over and back is 1. And we're doing 1 for every chakra. So we'll do 7 over and backs. Some people even say each of the chakras as they do it, but that's something for another day. Just doing 7 is good enough. And I have heard it described as putting on your armor, which I quite like that description. Putting on your armor. So then we could vibrate the water. 7 bandhans. We might talk about bandhans a little bit later too, because it's something interesting we can do in our hands if there's any problems keep coming in our mind. You write it on your hand and give it a bandhan. And also there was someone we wanted to give a bandhan to collectively, they asked. So we've put our feet into our bucket of quite icy cold now, was lukewarm, water, salty water. And let's just take our attention inside. So you can keep your hands on your lap. You can even look at your palms and try to feel what you're feeling on your hands, on your fingers. As you concentrate on your breath, that'll take your attention inside as well. Or you can raise them up and see whether closing your eyes allows you to feel which hand is heavier than the other. So a good way to do this is just holding the 2 hands up at the level of your heart. And then look at them and see as one drop down, one's up and one's down. That often indicates which one's a bit heavier. So that's my right hand a bit heavier. So what we will do is clear the left and the right in general. So the hand that we're clearing, we'll put it on our lap. The left side we'll do first. Right hand we'll put down towards the earth. So we can look towards Shri Mataji, who's the person who's given us all these techniques. And she's got the vibe. So if you want to look towards her photograph or close your eyes, either way. So you want to keep your attention on the top of your head and let your Kundalini do the work. And just notice the hand will settle down. So my left hand's feeling quite nice now. So I'll bring my right hand up in my lap. So I now want to clear that heavy right side that I was feeling. And in case you're all feeling my right side as well, I'm doing both. So you bend the left one. So your palm is facing behind you. And the right hand is the one the right side we're trying to clear. So we're allowing our Kundalini, our mothering energy, just take out the heat from that right side. So it's kind of like a funneling happening. So it's coming from the right side through that left into the air, the atmosphere. So let's either concentrate on the photograph or close your eyes and just let it happen. So you want to feel it happening rather than thinking about it happening. So just take your attention to your breath, because it's happening in your heart, really. It's feeling a lot calmer now on the right hand. You just bring your hands down and see with the two hands at the level of your heart if it's feeling a lot better. It's feeling for me a lot. I can test it out. Let me hold my two hands with my eyes shut.
Mine's feeling better, but I could have done more, I reckon. That's I think an important point to make also is that if, for example, if you have your hand up like this and you can still feel the heat coming up through the hand, just leave it there.
Yeah.
And you'll feel that, I didn't mention this, but these are what we call the cool breeze that will start to come onto your hand, and you'll feel it come, eventually go cool here in your left hand, but also that means that your right hand is getting clear. And if you're sensitive enough, sometimes you don't feel it because the Vishuddhi chakra is caught up or out of balance. But what we're hoping to get is a cool breeze in both hands. Yes,
that is, we could do that for long. There's also a nice little technique we can do just to see if that helps the right side more, which you mentioned before, which is raising up the left and down with the overactive right. So let's try that. We'll do it 7 times. So it's like a half bandhan. We're going from the left to the right and then just scooting back over to the left side again.
Yeah, I can feel it on my Sahasrara chakra already going cooler.
I've lost count, but approximately 7.
Lynn's not thinking. That's good.
And then just see, how's it feeling now, Andrew, for you?
I can feel it in my Sahasrara chakra. I can feel cool up there, even more than I'm feeling it in my hand. So
sounds like we've done the job, everyone.
Thank you for suggesting that. That was what I needed.
It was very nice. And of course, our final, if we feel individual chakras, we could put our hand or even give a bandhan on that particular chakra we're feeling. Feel free now to do any of your chakras you're feeling specifically. I might do the in general sweeping down. So this is a sweeping of both channels. You cross your hands at the agya, so you've got 2 hands on either side, uncross them at your forehead and sweep down the left and right sides. Let's do that 3 times. 2.
Oh yeah, feels good.
And another little one that we like to do is from the back. So you're doing the Nabi and the Swadhisthans from the back side. Let's see again. So that's really all you need to do if you're feeling cool now. So let's rinse off, dry our feet. Oh, you've got one there?
Yep, lost it for a second.
Now, if you're nearby to the WC, water closet, toilet, you could just quickly go and empty your bucket into the toilet, rinse it out and into the toilet. So we don't put it on plants or anywhere where that possibly negativity, but we don't want to kill the plants, basically. So we're going to put it in the WC. Now ours is a long way away, so we're just going to move it to the side and then we'll deal with them later. So we'll just put them to the side. If you're a long way from your toilet as well, just keep it to the side. Otherwise, dispose of it nicely. So while you're doing that, we'll chat what's happening next. I think Andrew's going to take us through a little meditation before we listen to the excerpt from Shri Mataji. Would you like to do it after?
Well, I'll just talk probably just briefly about the Agya chakra.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Yeah, let's hear about the Agya chakra.
So, and one of the
I can be a pointer if you wanted me to show where it is.
That would be good. And I think Surrender's probably going to
zoom
in. Surrender's doing all the behind the scenes work. Thanks, Surrender. I think he does this all the time with Lynn. Just want to acknowledge him. And if we can see in the subtle system here, you'll see the bluish channel, which is it's on our, we can see it on the right side, but it's in the person, you can see it's in the left side, and it corresponds to the left, in medical terms, in the left sympathetic nervous system. And that actually culminates at the top there in what we call the superego. And this channel, you know, some of the qualities it has there is, you know, feeling your emotions, which can be good, sometimes bad, feeling, even on the left side, feelings of joy, feeling of love is also expressed through the left side as well, but also the heart. But it's also associated with the past. So when we have some things that are sort of filtering, sort of coming into our mind, which are not helping us get into meditation, they can be obstructing that. It's because some of these things that may be expressed in different chakras culminate in the superego, and it can sort of collect up there. So there's some, it's good to know these things, and quite often on the left side, it's related to our conditionings, sometimes our family upbringing and the way that we think about the world that we've learnt. On the other side is the right sympathetic nervous system. We call it left and right side. We don't have to be complex about this, but just so you know that it does correspond to allopathic medicine as well. The left and right sympathetic nervous system, and the middle is the parasympathetic nervous system, which goes up the spine. So the right side culminates, it starts from the Swadhisthana chakra, it's that second chakra, and goes right up to the top and it crosses over. So both these channels, when it comes to the Agya level, Lynn mentioned this already, is that they cross over. So when we say left Agya, we're actually talking about this side and at the back of the head in your body. And when we say right Agya, we actually mean the left side of your head and front here as well. So a couple of techniques we can use. So Lynn mentioned that you can use your hands, and you'll hear in Shri Mataji's talk, she's very practical about this, and because she's using, and she did a lot of experimentation early in Sahaja Yoga in the 70s with people to, one, she knew how to raise the Kundalini, but then experimenting in some of these clearing techniques. And one of the things that she settled on, because it worked, was just using your hand to either like give vibrations to it, the right hand side, using the right hand, giving it to any part of the Agya which actually feels hot. So in mine, I actually feel my forehead is feeling a bit warmish. So I can actually give vibrations to this part of the Agya chakra. So that just means, you know, moving my hand around in, what would that be, an anti-clockwise direction?
So clockwise in the front, anti-clockwise when you're in the back?
Yeah.
I think you're going clockwise, yes?
Yeah. Sorry, it's doing my head in thinking about it. And just moving in that direction helps to clear it out. Another little technique is you can sort of grab that heat like this, like so, and offer it down to the earth. And so you can actually feel, you can use your left or right hand to feel if there's any heat in any part of your chakra. So there's the front and the side, the left side here, that's the ego. And also at the back and here is the superego. Now, just to be more friendly to ourselves, we can call it left agya, back agya. That's our superego. Or for our ego, we can call it front or right agya. And so that means we can be gentle with ourselves and go, okay, everybody's got an ego. We don't have to be too concerned about it. But we can be gentle with ourselves and say, I've got a right agya imbalance. And the other thing we can do is just pull down, and I think Lynn already demonstrated this, is if I've got an ego problem, a right agya problem, I can just pull it down. And I tell you, I've been experimenting a lot with this over the last few months, and this has been really helpful. I even do it 108 times, pulling this down regularly. But it really depends, because we can swing like a pendulum. Sometimes we go into our ego conditioning thinking, and even, looking at the sort of wrong things on TV or whatever can get your agya caught up. So sometimes it might, on the back agya, if you're watching something inauspicious like violence or like gross sort of sex and stuff, it might affect your chakra here. So we can just pull it down. There's some really, really effective techniques that I found that, especially when I'm walking the dogs, when I'm outside and it's a clear sky, I just look at the sky and just, try and meditate while I'm walking, also looking where I'm going, but looking at the sky, and that is really effective in clearing the agya. The other thing is looking at grass when you're walking. Just keep your eyes on the grass, and that will help to keep the agya clear, left and right. So they're really, really important ones. The other one is if your front or right agya is hot, we can just, as I was mentioning before, tilt our head forward into our hand, bit more humility. So it symbolises that humility that we need. We've got the agya problem in the right agya. And then at the back, quite often it relates to problems of confidence. So I'm not saying push your chest out, but you can definitely look up. And that's really effective for that left side chakra. So we can, and we use that in our technique already, haven't we? That and this.
Because even once you've got your self-realization, you've actually become a vacuum cleaner. So we're roaming around, and that's our job, what to do. So we're absorbing any negativity around, and then we clear it out. The important thing is to witness it as opposed to reacting. Oh, why am I feeling like that? So you go, oh yes, I'm feeling like that. So it's, and you just clear it out. And you don't know whether it's something that you've had from your past or something you've just picked up now or somebody's you've been with. It doesn't matter where or who or why. You just deal with it, and not to have a big reaction about it. But it's an ongoing job. So nice to...
One thing I'd like to add, it's a bit of a separate issue, is that I always use what I call the Jimi Hendrix approach. And he was obviously a great guitarist in the 60s, and he was actually a realised soul. Probably didn't know it, but he was born realised. And one great thing that he always did, and everybody can at the time consider him the best guitarist in that genre, and nobody thought they could surpass him. But it was surprising that even so, he would go and watch other people. Like any night that he was free, he would go and watch someone. People would think, why is this master of the guitar going to watch some potentially what they thought ordinary people? And he always felt that it was important to learn from others. And so you'll see that I'm doing slightly different techniques, and Lynn will explain it differently or focus on something, but there's some things I've already remembered, some techniques that I wasn't using for a long, long time that Lynn mentioned tonight. And it's really, really important, because when you go into meditation sometimes you can't get there. And you try usual tricks and it doesn't work. And so always try the next one. the next one, and you'll find that expression of the pure desire, but then also just getting out of a conditioned sort of approach to it.
Finding that spontaneity, really.
Yes.
So,
that little bit of extra effort.
Yeah.
With that expression of desire, but also getting out of that conditioned response to try and get into the meditation.
Because we do like a habit.
We
do like a habit, isn't it? So we have to watch our habits, basically.
Because the habits especially are an expression of that left side.
Yeah. There are good habits, though. Raising your kundalini and putting on your armour, that's a good habit.
Yeah, and I think it's important, making sure we're not doing that as a ritualistic thing.
Yeah.
Because when that happens, then it just becomes another expression of that left side, a negative aspect, which can then, not be conducive to getting into that space of meditation.
So I guess watching what you're doing, as opposed to thinking of something else and just doing it. So you being in the present while you're doing it.
But I think it's, Lynn's got all of these great techniques, but, getting in different people, it sounds like you're doing as well, gives that variety to people who hear it. So that's a good approach, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shall we have a look at the excerpt of Shri Mataji?
Oh, yeah.
Before we take up too much time, because we're probably heading towards our finishing time. So we'll play this excerpt. We'll just have a little bit of silence, maybe a bit of music to finish our meditation off there. So bear with me while I find that for you.
So this clear-cut idea comes to you when your heart is clean. But first of all, people do not understand that you have to work it through your heart and not through your brain. When we have to work out things through our brain, we try to develop our brain, isn't it? By memorizing, by practicing something, teaching our brain how to think, how to go this way, that way. We try to train our brain. Now we have to train our heart in Sahaja Yoga. And to train our heart in Sahaja Yoga, one has to know first of all that it is enveloped either by ego or by superego. The limbic area actually represents the heart. And if there is ego, heart will always be so-called. It will not be the real heart that will be working, but it's only mental projection. And you will feel that I'm doing it from my heart. That's not true. Now then, supposing what should we do if we have ego? You might say you should try to sort of tell yourself that that's not good and this and that and all kinds of mental suggestions or auto-suggestions or the way psychiatrists and all that give you suggestions. That's again mental. So that's not the way it is going to work out. We must understand that for that what we have to do is to raise the left side and put it to the right side. There's no other way out. You have to just work it out with your hands. Your hands are working it out and not your brain. So use your hands and the methods of Sahaja Yoga. Now, everyone must have a regular sitting in the water every day. That's important. Every morning you must do your meditation. Because on mental level we feel we have been with Mother, all right. This exposure is all right. You came, you saw how Indians are and how they are light on their feet and how they are good for Sahaja Yoga. But after seeing all that, You have to know that Sahaja Yoga is to be worked out. It is not to be thought out. You just cannot think about it. Whatever you may try to do through your thought, you cannot achieve any results in Sahaja Yoga. You have to use your hands, you have to use your feet, you have to soak your feet in the water because water is the ocean. All these 5 chakras, or say 6 chakras, which are, I say 5 because the one is the Muladhara chakra, which is the 7th, and the topmost is the brain. So in between 5 chakras which are there are to be handled fully with the idea that they are basically made of matter. And these 5 elements constitute the body of these chakras. Now these chakras, if they are to be corrected, we have to correct them by taking out all the problems of these chakras into the elements from which they come. For example, a person who is a very right-sided person, so he has to give a balance by the left side. Of course, raising with the hand is all right, but what about the element? Right-sided person has all the elements which give heat. You can say the light, we can say the fire. So for people who are right-sided, the light is not going to help much. Like if you put the light before the photograph, and those who are ego-oriented people, if you just use the light, it's not going to work out. So what is going to work out is the Mother Earth and the water element, which is cooling. Even ice is very helpful to people who are right-sided. So all cooling effects should be used for correcting your right-sidedness so that you cool it down. Same about food. In food, those who are right-sided people should take to foods which are left-sided, that is carbohydrates, means they should become partly vegetarians or quite a lot of vegetarians, and should eat things at the most like chicken, but not fishes, not seafoods, because they are all hot. That's how you treat your arterial side of your chakras. Now the left-sided people should use again the deepa, means the light or the fire, to correct their left side. Also in food, such people should take more to nitrogenous, means protein, and foods like that. They should take more proteins. Now, as far as Sahaja Yoga is concerned, the basic thing is Kundalini. And the Kundalini, as I have told you, is the pure desire. Again, listen to it carefully, pure desire. That means all other desires are impure. There's only one pure desire, and that is to be one with the divine, one with the Brahma, one with God. That's the only pure desire. All other desires are impure. So, train your mind gradually to achieve that desire as the main thing. If you train your mind in that fashion, then you can develop pure desire. So all other desires will negate gradually. Alright. Now this desire to be one with the divine is the purest and the highest.
We'll just meditate for about 5 minutes. So let's finish our meditation by raising our Kundalini. Stop sharing. No, I didn't. Sorry, everyone. We are here, raising our Kundalini. And placing on our bandhan 7 times over and back.
That was amazing. Lynn, did you feel the difference in vibrations when Shri Mataji was talking?
I did. Yes.
My whole left hand was going cool. So it's good that people can have a chance to talk things through with us and everything, but I really recommend people go to the source, and that's Shri Mataji. There's lots and lots of videos on YouTube.
So and we have little excerpts we put daily on the WhatsApp group too, if you just want to open it and go. We will, those of you on Zoom, if you want to, I'm sure we'll open up the chat for you just now in case there's a burning feedback or question. Please feel free to share. Let me just make sure that you do have the power. Yes, you've got the chatting power is there. You can also unmute yourself should you so desire.
I just want to ask if on Sahaja Yoga, do we, if we have a wish, how can we do using Sahaja Yoga?
Oh, I'm glad you've reminded me about that, Yo. So I briefly interjected when Andrew was talking before with the fact that we can, if there's something coming in our mind that we feel we want to put divine vibrations to and stop it recurring in our mind. For instance, there is a gentleman has sent me a message that he's got a lot of health problems, and could we all give him a bandhan? Now, a bandhan we do over ourselves, but we also can write a person or a problem or a situation, anything in the palm of our hand, put the bandhan 7 times around that issue on our hand. So let's do that together. The gentleman's name is Salim, and let's just write Salim on our hands and give a bandhan. He's having some health problems and just wanted us to help. So we're keeping our attention at the top of our head while we do these bandhans on our hand. So we're just going to leave it to the divine or the universe to take care in whatever way is required. So we don't have to think of the outcome, but it's just, we're just leaving it with divine. Is that what you meant, Yo? If there was something you wanted, does that make sense to you?
Yes. But if the wish is like you wish to those are not good, and then you wish that he or she become good, you just do like that lah. Write down the name and then you turn circle 7 times on your palm, on your left palm, is it?
Absolutely, Yo. If there's somebody who's out of balance or troubled in some way, it will definitely help if you write their name and then just give the bandhans. And so it takes it away from your mind of worrying, and you're giving it to the power of the universe to solve that situation and help out in whatever way divine sees fit. So is there anything you would like us to do together, Yo?
Yeah. It's like if ourselves, can we do the bandham ourselves?
For ourselves? Yes, of course.
Yeah.
For yourself?
So
Yes.
just write my name now, and then I will.
Let's do.
Did I need to mention something like what problem?
No. We don't need to know
need.
the problem. We can just put your name and put the divine vibrations to help you in whatever needs to be done. So I've just written your name on my hand, and everyone else will do that as well. And we're just giving the bandhans. And you don't even have to count how many times. You keep your attention at Sahasrara, and after some time you'll start to feel cool.
So Salim, if you're listening, it'd be good just to focus on your left side chakras if you are having problems. And it's important to know we don't judge anybody here, but when you have this awakening, you can actually feel the chakra system of other people. It's mentioned in the scriptures that your hands will bear witness before you, but it actually you know, it's an amazing thing. You can actually feel the chakra system of other people. And just for what we're feeling is if you just focus on the left side, and no judgment, because we all have different combinations of problems, don't we, Lynn?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why we're
different
here.
times also.
Yeah. So when we were putting that in button, we could feel more left side there, and that's good to focus on that, Salim.
Good tip, Andrew.
One more question. How
Yes,
can
please.
I know? Yeah. How can I know we are left side not balanced or right side not balanced? How can we know?
So that was what Andrew was saying. You start to feel in your hands. Now, if you're not feeling when you hold your hands out and try to feel, so if you're feeling things tingling or heat on your right hand, then or it feels heavy, it could be the right side needs to be cleared. And likewise, if you're feeling tingles or heaviness on the left hand, then it's the left side. So then the different raising up of the left and down with the right, or how we cleared into the earth. We put the right hand down to the earth to clear the left hand. The right side, we put the right hand open on our lap and we bent our left one. So whichever channel, right side or left side, you're trying to clear, you would have that open on your lap. But don't worry if you're not able to detect whether it's left or right, just clear both.
Yeah.
To clear the left and then clear the right, which we've been doing anyway, because some people may be feeling left, some may be feeling right. But, there's different things you can do to increase your sensitivity. Keeping your hands, if you work a lot with your hands, make sure you use some hand lotion, or you can literally just take some nice olive oil and rub your hands. Just, any roughness, just try to soften them up as you would anything that's feeling dry. And also for this center here is very much connected to your hands, as Andrew was mentioning before. So trying to keep that that center moist. We can go through the nose with ghee. I mean, depending how serious it is, after some time you'll start to feel that it's quite subtle at first, but after a while you'll start to feel more in your hands. And there are different things you can do more if as the time goes on it's still not improving for you. But keep checking in with us each week, and we'll give some more little tips if just these first simple things don't easily help you get there. Does that make sense, Yo?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And I think for you, Yo, I mean, if you maybe just spend an extra 5 minutes at the end of this, just keep your right hand towards the ground and your left hand out. And if you do that, and hopefully you'll start to feel more cool in your left hand as well.
Anyone else? Anything to share or questions to ask? So what we've got to finish off, I know we went a little bit over time tonight, but it was awfully nice. Thank you. It's a concert. It's quite a long time ago, performed before Shri Mataji. So we'll just finish with that. And then if anyone wants to continue meditating or clearing, they can. So we'll probably keep that on for about 5 minutes, and then we'll say goodnight to everyone. But thank you so much for joining. It was a very nice meditation with you all, as usual. And keep in touch. If I will display the screen about the WhatsApp group, etc. Hopefully, I'm doing that. Or have I lost it? Oh, it's over there. Yes, that's what we did today. Footsoaking. We've meditated. I forgot I had these. Here we are. What next? So just a little reminder: meditate daily at home. For more information and for joining WhatsApp, most of you are there on the WhatsApp group, so we do post some short meditations for you, and the link to join as well tonight. So, and also feel free to, let us know if there's something more you want us to post in the WhatsApp group. We sometimes open the line for chats, but then because there's like hundreds of people in the WhatsApp groups, we don't do it very often because everyone feels like they're getting spammed if there's too many messages there. But direct message is fine. So if you want to, you can always direct message us. You know, if you look in the top subject title of the WhatsApp group, you can always find us to send us a direct message. I think that might be. Thank you. No, I will play the finishing off concert for you. And if no one else has any more they wish to share, we'll say goodnight and look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Andrew.
Good night, everyone.
And thank you also to Fishers and Nicolai's for joining us tonight. And let's get that music happening. Oh, I see one message there. Yes, thank you also, iPhone. And Stanley. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing this and I'm going to start sharing this one. Oops. This is really nice, this one. Oh, somebody turned the TV off. Okay, it's all right. We don't need to see it, but people might have liked it. This is actually a music group playing in Canberra.
शाह मर्दा शेर यज़दा कुव्वते
ओ शाह मर्दा शेर यज़दा कुव्वते परवर ला सैफ इला जुल्फ़े का मन कुन तो मौला हे मन कुन तो मौला हे मन कुन तो मौला हे मन कुन
तो मौला है
मन कुंदो मौला मन कुंदो मौला मन कुंदो मौला
मन कुंतो अली मौला
मन कुंदो अली मौला
मन कुंतो अली मौला
मन कुंदो अली मौला
मन कुंतो अली अली मौला
मन कुंदो अली अली मौला
मन कुंतो अली अली मौला
मन कुंदो अली अली मौला
हे मन कुंतो
मौला हे मन कुंदो मौला
फहाजा अली उन मौला
आजा अली
फहाजा अली उन मौला
आजा अली
धारा दिले
Good night, all. Thanks for joining.
The evangelist think of that.